These are the virtual voyages of Mr. and Mrs. CTBeer. Their mission? To explore craft breweries, to seek out new beers and new companions, to boldly go where no man or woman has gone before.
Hey, welcome to the party, guys. It's Mr. and Mrs. CTBeer. Thank you guys for joining us to make history together. Are you excited, Jen?
Special night, that's for sure, especially for Connecticut Brewing.
Yes, this is our first for Connecticut, our first ever virtual beer festival, and trust me, I'd rather be doing the real thing, clinking those little beer fest glasses together out in public, but
Second best.
it ain't the real thing, but it's the next best thing. And you know what? Next to drinking great beer, what do people always tell us? They want to talk to the folks who brew it. Well, now's your chance. You get a front row seat at home. Hopefully you guys got your beers. And we're going to connect with the guys who brew it. And it's going to be a lot of fun, very, very educational. And we'll see how it goes, right? Excited?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have to wait in line to get your taste of your favorite beer. Hopefully you have it in the comfort of your own home. And you can have one-on-one sessions with the brewers themselves and the people behind all these awesome beers.
Yeah, so let's recap here for a moment how tonight's going to work. First and foremost, you know, this is a social event, so you're going to be able to comment in the feed, interact with other beer drinkers, talk about how you like the beers, talk about whatever you want, engage with each other. And definitely you guys are going to ask questions. So we're going to highlight a few of your questions. Ask questions. We'll relay that to the brewers. You can ask specific questions for the brewers, or you can ask a question for them all. Have fun with it. Anything you want to know about these guys, let them know. One more thing I wanted you guys to know as well is that we're also going to have a virtual photo booth. Like you're sure you go to weddings,
yes,
you know, things like that. And I just want to show you guys real quick. So here's a link right there. Go to bfestin.photo. You can take pictures of yourself, share it to social media, tag us, tag the breweries, share the fun you're having with the world. These photos are free. Take as many as you want. You'll get them emailed to you, or you can download them right away. You can use it on your phone. Here's a link again, free virtual photo booth. There's the link right there. Pull it up. I just want to show you guys real quick what the wife and I did.
Can they put like party hats on and everything?
Yeah, let's show them what we did real quick. Let me take that down.
Maybe post it with your favorite beer of the evening.
Yeah, share your photos with your favorite beer. Throw on some beards on each other, some hats, and all that good stuff. One last thing. For those of you guys who got beer, please remember this is a marathon, not a sprint. You got 10 big beers. Drink, pace yourself. Don't overdo it. We got a long night ahead of us. We have a long life ahead of us. Space it out. There's no pressure. You do not have to drink every beer.
You can save some, right?
Save some for a better day.
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend, exactly. save it for the after Zoom party where you could crack it open and you could talk to the brewers directly. That's for ticket buyers only. I think that's pretty much covers all the ground rules, right?
I think so. Let's have some fun.
Keep those questions coming in the comments, guys. Without further ado, hold my beer. Well, cheers my beer. Well, you used to say hold my beer and you do something crazy. This is going to get crazy. We're making history tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the show. I'm going to introduce our star guests one by one. So first and foremost, from Woodbury, Connecticut, is the team behind Woodbury Brewing Company.
Awesome, guys.
Say hello.
Hey.
Cheers.
Welcome to the party.
Yes. Next up on deck, coming all the way from the top corner of Connecticut.
A very cool place.
Yes.
Very historic.
Yes. It'll be owner Chris. Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hey guys.
Here's a beer, Chris. Here you
Welcome
go.
to the party, my man.
Thanks, man.
All right, next on deck, weighing in at, I feel like I should do a wrestling thing, right? From parts unknown. No, actually, they're from Newtown. New brewery, NewSylum.
In a very unique location.
That's right. Here they are.
What's up, guys?
Welcome. All right, next up is my pals from Bethel.
Oh, okay.
The brew pub at the train station. You love their food, they love their beer.
Yes.
Chris and Kevin for Broken Symmetry in Bethel, Connecticut. Here they are.
Woo. Hey, cheers.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers. And last but not least, the star, our host, the guy who really put this all together. This is his brainchild. Ryan and Frank from Reverie in Newtown, Connecticut. We're going to hand it off to him. Ryan, take it away, my friend.
Cheers. What's up, everybody?
Hey, welcome. I'm so excited to have you guys all here. You know, maybe we can get this all started. You guys introduce yourselves. Let's take 30 seconds. Tell about your brewery, where you're from, and what we're drinking.
Yeah, so we're going to start off. I'm Ryan, and this is Frank. We're the co-owners, along with Mark, of Reverie Brewing in Newtown. And we got two beers that we love to share with you guys tonight. And I'll let Frank kind of talk about them.
So the first one I'm drinking out of a plastic cup. It really opens up the body of the beer. Is Rake. It's our wit beer. It's actually finally got a release during fall season, just released like this week. But it was one of our first beers that we released, and much to Mark's dismay, was one of our top sellers. Not an IPA, hoo-hoo. But it's a beer that I love. It really fits a good profile for anybody who likes wit beers or wheat beers. We do lemon peel and coriander in it. But it's, you know, your standard wit beer style. And then we have the second beer in the pack is a accidental creation because of the recent electricity loss we had. I was doing a brew day. I was brewing a completely different beer, Waterfall, which is an IPA that we released earlier before shutdown. That we brewed a couple times with some good feedback, but it is actually called Manual Power Sour. I was experimenting with a couple new things on how to do some double batching, and luckily, I had not hopped it yet. I was going to double hop the second batch and test that out, see how that worked. So I had 10 barrels of beer in a fermenter. I had 10 barrels of beer in a mash tun. Power went out, and we finally captured the wort from the mash tun, fed it into the boil kettle, and hoped that the power would come back on. Power never came back on, so I luckily had some sour yeast on hand. I soured it, and I had some Strata hops and some Cascade, so it soured for 2 days. We finally got the power situated back on. We finished the boil, did everything, and blended it together, and that is the whole story behind the Manual Power Sour.
You figured we were going to have to dump it anyway, so.
And it turned out good. We kept it.
You never know what you're going to get sometimes.
Yeah.
That's like a Forrest Gump thing, right?
Thank you, Forrest Gump.
It's one of my favorite movies.
All right. We'll drop some movie. Thanks, guys.
Who are you passing to?
Yes. We'll introduce the next guys, Chris and Kevin for Broken Symmetry.
All right, here.
Chris, these beers.
Yes, hand it off to these guys.
Perfect.
Hey, everybody.
Good evening.
Well, we've got a couple of them here. So I'm here with Kevin, who's one of the partners with me, one of the first founding partners with me. And I'm the head brewer. Kevin's an assistant brewer. And we've got a couple beers that we're sharing with everybody. The first one is the Origin. So it's a wheat beer that I used Thrall Family Malt Spelt in, and came out pretty nice. I was just going for just a nice light wheat ale, some nice phenolics, maybe something like that. And the Spelt malt added this nice little lemony finish, which is kind of nice. So that was kind of unexpected. Nice and light, easy drinking. The other one, which we haven't popped yet, but we will in a bit, is we were inspired to do a Mexican light lager, so Mexican style lager. So that's our Aztec Sky, so right here, and it's got a little flake corn from Thrall as well in that one, and so we like to use some of the local ingredients in the area. So that came out nice and light. Kind of reminds me a little bit. It's nice and light. It has a little more flavor than what my dad used to have me try when I was a little kid, when he was drinking light lagers in the old days.
Right.
Really nice and light and refreshing. So yeah,
nice can colors too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about their artwork and all that stuff.
Am I jumping ahead? I'm jumping the gun.
Oh,
that's all right. Jen's gonna have a lot of questions for you, I can tell.
Okay.
Let's travel. Cheers. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's go to NewSylum, Mark and John. Welcome and tell us about your guys' place. You're like the new kids on the block, really, right?
Yeah, hi guys. It's Mark here. How's it going? Finally got open in crazy times, incredibly enough. I'm sure some of you are familiar with where we're located in an old asylum, if you don't know. And that was defunct in 1995 and opened in 1932. We're the first commercial business up here, and they hope to make it, all walking retail shops and restaurants, and hopefully we'll act as an anchor for that future. Yeah, hopefully that'll all come to fruition with any luck. It's all over. So, I'll introduce you to John Watson, our head brewer. So our first, I think he's going to talk about is the Pils. It's a line of Pilsners called Walking the Dog. Our first one was a Czech style Pilsner. We brewed with 100% Saaz hops. And the last two we made were with Hallertauer Hersbrucker. And the one John's going to talk about is one we made with all Tettnang. So I'll leave it to him.
All right. So just on a footnote, this is a Great American Beer Festival event. Our first American Beer Festival was in 2001, 19 years ago. Me and this guy together flew out to Denver shortly after the towers went down. And made it there and made it back. So today we're going to be much more sober than we were back then, of course, because we really raged it. But I'm going to talk about our beers. We have a Pilsner. I've been homebrewing for about 26 years, and I don't think there's been a beer I've brewed more in those 26 years than a Pilsner. My passion for really drinkable German beer, especially lager beer. There's nothing better on a hot day, a cold winter day, to me, than to quench the palate with a nice Pilsner. Hop forward. We do make, like he said, this one with Hersbrucker hops, which are the classic hops to the region of like Bamberg, Franconia, which we love. That's one of our favorite hops. And there's nothing better to like kind of showcase a little more herbalness to that light malt than Tettnang hops. So we've been working, like I said, very hard to produce a good Pilsner. We do love Czech Pilsner as well, but right now we have German. We do have a Czech one that's coming out pretty soon. Still got to hit the lager tanks for a little bit, as well as we did include our pale ale, which is another really good drinkable beer, which I'll grab right here and show you guys. This is our therapy session, which we showcase a little bit of Mosaic and Citra hops in it. Pretty light, well-balanced, drinkable pale, light-bodied to make it even more drinkable. Just a little bit of oats, Pilsner malts, with a showcase on the dry hopping to give it that nice resiny and kind of piney, a little hints of pine, berry, and citrus hops, which is going to be one of our regular beers we brew. So we're really enjoying that beer as one of our staple products that we always can drink throughout the day without, like, it's always good to have a 5% beer around that you can throw back and it has nice flavor. So that's what we're trying to do. We also, not that we have that we just do that. We do, make the bigger IPAs and stuff. But for now, we tried to give you a couple nice drinkable beers to get down with tonight and share with the masses.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are joining that, and we love your beers over there. That's for sure. Let's move up to Great Falls, Canaan.
Way up.
Way up.
For us, it's a little bit of a hike.
Chris, tell us about Great Falls.
Where's Canaan? Yeah, Great Falls. We're in North Canaan, and can be a little confusing around here because there's a town called Canaan just south of us. They call themselves Falls Village, and North Canaan calls itself Canaan. So we're the town right next to Massachusetts border. So if you're heading straight up Route 7, it's there. We've been here a couple of years now in the old train station, and we've just enjoyed the heck out of being here and being part of this local community. I'm going to touch on the beers a little bit, but when Jonas joins up, he can talk more about it. But because this is sort of a collaboration festival with GABF, the beers we chose were two of the beers that we sent off there to Colorado being judged. So we're excited about that. So the first beer that we're sending is Lazy Hazy Hoozy, and that's what I'm drinking right now. It's our number one drank beer here by far. It's we wanted to have a nice balanced New England IPA, and the recipe that we wrote for Great Falls was this beer, and actually the second beer. Sorry, the first one was a Western style IPA, and it really latched on. The name Lazy Hazy Hoozy comes from the local river, the Housatonic River, and it's sort of, if you've ever been up here, the Housatonic around here is just this nice, slow, meandering, lazy, hazy river. And
where we got that name from?
Yeah, so most people call it Housy when they order, so we know that's how the locals from the non-locals.
Hey, Woodbury guys, lots of sound in the background. You had to mute. Okay.
But yeah, so that this is. We got the balance right with using a little flaked oats in the mash, and got that sort of nice soft mouthfeel that it's got, and then the hop, sort of a modest hop additions of El Dorado, Citra, Mosaic, and just that right balance has made it sort of a local favorite. And then the Pilsner that we made is classic German style Pilsner, so we're going into the Oktoberfest season. But that beer is taken off as well. It's got a slight dry hop, and again with I think Yukonot, and the idea was to sort of just have that little back end hint flavor in there. No bitterness, but it's a little unusual for a Pilsner. But again, it's been well received here. We're really excited about it. And the great thing is, Jonas is a true artist, and it's been great working with him in that sense. I'm more like the art gallery owner. People don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to the artist. So,
right, he's your Picasso.
Yeah, exactly.
A beer. Well, we'll hear from him later. I know he's coming off for the post party for ticket buyers. Let's give the last but not least is a crew from Woodbury. They have the whole team there.
Quite a crew tonight.
Yes, guys, the floor is yours.
I think they're in the middle of brewing.
I think they are too.
It's a brew day. It's a brew day.
Yes.
The brew night.
We're up then.
All right, what do you want me to do? I'm here to perform for you.
Yes, we need entertainment.
Well, hey everyone, cheers. Welcome to Connecticut's first, right?
Yeah.
Virtual Beer Festival. Very happy to have you all with us. It's very exciting. I'm sorry that our second batch for today took a little bit longer, so I'm just finishing knockout right now. But we're all here with you and we're drinking. Try not to drink too much so I can make sure the beer goes in the right tank. So everybody who's following along at home, from Woodbury, we offered up our Oktoberfest. I froze it. It's a Märzen style Oktoberfest. You'll see it's a bit darker, robust. It's got some hairs on its glasses. So forgive me if I'm like rambling on about a bunch of things people know, but a Märzen is in German Märzen is March, and so before when they were first started Oktoberfest celebrations and stuff like that, they would brew these beers in March, and they would make them a little bit more robust, a little higher ABV, because according to German purity law, you couldn't brew during the summer because it was too hot. They didn't have glycol, they didn't have chillers, they didn't have all this stuff that we have, and we can make this beer for you all year long. So they had to brew a bunch of beer in the spring and then store it for the summertime and drink it all summer. Well, got to the end of the summer, they're like, well, we still got some beer that's having Oktoberfest. So that's sort of where my limited German Oktoberfest knowledge, Oktoberfest sort of started. So we bring to you a Märzen style Oktoberfest. It's clean, it's smooth, it's a lager. So again, if I'm rambling on it, forgive me, but lagers are fermented colder. It's a different type of yeast that likes to kind of ferment at a colder temperature. So you get that nice, clean, neutral yeast profile, not a lot of fruity esters, very clean. And it lets the malt in the beer shine through. And this beer has two different hops in it. Tettnang, which is a German noble variety, spicy, herbal, sort of floral, earthy. And then it's not it's secret. It's Hallertau Blanc. I think it's on our website. But anyway.
I feel like we should do pros to have a stein hoisting contest right now or something.
Right. Oh yeah. All right. Let's go this way and then that way. All right. Down.
Yeah, widen that sucker.
That's beautiful. Well, Ryan, I know you had a ton of questions. You want to kind of take over? Jen and I want to start drinking a lot.
And I'll just round it out by saying, the other beer that we put in your pack is Are You Not Entertained? It's our double IPA with Citra and Mosaic. It's your quintessential, juicy, yummy IPA, easy to drink, super smooth. It's about 8%, and just a yummy double IPA. And I do want to plug our guy who does our can art, Keith Edwards. He just does phenomenal stuff. And so if anyone's ever seen Russell Crowe in The Gladiator, Are You Not Entertained?
Love it, too. We have some beautiful breweries in Western Canada. They make a great beer, and these guys are awesome. We've had a lot of fun behind the scenes putting this thing on. So, I don't know, Ryan, I want to turn it over to you because I know you had a few questions. We're going to have some interaction between the breweries. I know you guys have a lot of questions for each other. Maybe we could start there.
Yeah, no, I don't really have any questions. I thought we would just kind of open it up, talk about the type of beers we like to brew, either as brewers or owners, and the type of beers we like to have on tap, because I think sometimes that's not always the same. and just kind of talk about why we picked the beers we picked. And we were kind of hoping that people would kind of, text in some questions on the chat here. If there's a beer you're trying now, or a beer you had at one of these places in the past. I'll kick it off to Chris at Broken Symmetry, because we know those guys a lot. I know you're like a huge fan of the Belgian style beers. I've been at your place maybe, 50 times for beers and burritos. And maybe talk a little bit about why you love that beer so much, why you like making it so much, because not a lot of places really focus on that, at least in Connecticut. And I don't know, and just talk a little bit about what kind of goes through your tap list on a week-to-week basis.
Thanks, Ryan. I really fell in love with beer back in, probably back in 1997. And can give a shout out to Mark at my place over there.
I was
it was one of the first craft beers I had. It's a Chimay Grand Reserve, a Trappist style Belgian dark strong ale. And I would say that moment my life was really changed incredibly much. So I never had tasted anything like that before. And being in college and graduating '95, we you can imagine what we were drinking, right? So I fell in love with that beer style, and I kept wanting to try more of it from other breweries, especially Trappist breweries. And it was to me, it's so special to be drinking something that monks are making in monasteries still to this day after hundreds of years. It's absolutely incredible. And so I love that. I love those styles. I love to make them. And I started making them. Those are some of the first styles I started homebrewing about maybe 14 years ago or so. And when I set out to do the brew pub, I wanted to really feature those styles of beer as well as many other styles as we could do, and I wanted to have something for everyone, really. And right now we actually have on the draft list, we have a Hatter's beer, which is a Trappist single style, and we have our Belgian triple as well. It's called Attraction. It's a new triple, and we have our quadruple, which is square of 10. We're missing the double right now. We're missing the double, one of Kevin's favorite styles, and so we're going to be brewing that in about 3 weeks. We're brewing a double. I really fell in love with that style, and I just love brewing it.
Very nice. I do have a question from our audience for the Woodbury guys.
Woodbury, you're on deck.
I'm going to show it right now from Sarah. She asked, even though it's not in the pack, we love you. Get this guy a Puffers. Can you talk a little bit about that one?
Puffers. All right. So get this guy Puffers. The beer is a 100% Connecticut grown beer. So we've used Thrall malt in that beer. Thrall and Spencer and his family are up in Windsor, and they grow and malt all their own barley, wheat, spelt, emmer. So they're doing some really great stuff in terms of helping to support the local craft beer brewing scene. And I love Spencer because when I email Spencer and say, Spencer, I need these malts at your earliest convenience, he's like, I'll be there tomorrow. And I'm like, sweet. Love working with those guys, and they make some really good product. And then the hops in there are a sort of a mix of different hops from Smoke Down Farm in Sharon, and so this is a little bit of a darker beer, and sort of an amber, a little bit on the maltier side. It's Spencer's Vienna is it's a little bit darker than probably small people's Vienna or whatever. But it makes this nice malty, slightly darker amber. But it's a hop forward beer, Challenger, Cascade, and Chinook, so you get nice fruitiness and whatnot from the hops, but also that floral component that marries well with sort of that sweetness from the malt. And I don't know if anyone gets my humor or the reference or whatever. But if anyone's ever seen Letterkenny, which is hilarious and it's not appropriate for children at all, it's the Puppers is the beer that they drink all the time, and the phrase "get this guy Puppers" means tell this guy to shut up. So get this guy Puppers. If he gets this guy beer, he'll be happy, and we'll move on. So.
Beautiful. I want to try that. I got to take Mrs. CTBeer down there because you guys are Connecticut's first music venue / brewery in Connecticut. A good time to have rage, lots of great music, has some great beer.
Dance?
You know me, I have 2 less feet.
I can dance.
You could dance, yeah.
Dancing, yes. Arousing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Have a couple more
right now, all of our music is outdoors, pretty much on the patio. So there's music right now. Probably can't hear it on the thing, but we get some great local acoustic, but like lightly amplified acts out there, and we love having live music. We love having that other sort of like creative component to what we offer, people to come here and want to hang out, have a good time, relax, have some beer, and listen to some really good live music. When we were in the before times, on Tuesday evenings, we would have traveling musicians come from other parts of the country even, and it was a little bit more intimate, and we had some really great singer-songwriters, even from other countries, Scotland.
Wow.
And what were they called? The Jellyman's Daughter. They were awesome. And they've signed our wall next to the women's room. So if you ever have to go to the bathroom, you should go and check out the wall.
I'm going to check that out now. I'm going to specifically look for that.
And play at the brewery. So we're really excited to be able to do that. And hopefully...
Great Connecticut attraction.
Yeah.
I wanted to kick it over to NewSylum boys. I had a 2-part question. Mark, what was it like opening a restaurant or opening a brewery during a pandemic and managing a restaurant? And then John, for you, we have a question from the audience that is, what is the hardest beer for you to make, and does that limit how much you make it?
Hardest beer for us.
Not you, or just in general, but I wanted to talk a little bit about it.
I would say the hardest beer to make is the one we haven't made yet, which would be more like a spontaneous fermented beer. And to really get that right is hard to do. Not that that's part of our thing that we're going to do here, but down the road, I would say it will be made. It takes a lot of trust in what you're doing to make something like that, and to use the right grains that the yeast can thrive off of, the proteins. And so as far as I've brewed so many beers for so many years that I find those beers are harder to really nail, and you have to really blend to get good results sometimes with different batches of that kind of thing, or rely on some mixed culture, and to get all those cultures to work right together. And when they do work right together, it's like magic, and it's something you really want to drink a lot of. But that to me would be the hardest thing that I've ever made, in the past. So, I don't know if that's a 2-part question of what we're actually making right now here, or what I've made in the past. So if there's further question on that, please ask again.
Yeah, someone actually had, I think, a question I was directing. Zach Ross asked, Like, what are the challenges scaling up your homebrew recipe to a larger batch size? I think that was for you, John.
What are the challenges?
Was it?
So in the past, I've done a lot of home brewing, and I've done a lot in the homebrew world. I became a certified beer judge about 20 years ago. So to scale up stuff, it really wasn't that hard to go from someone who was making like 10 to 15 gallon batches. I did a stint up in Vermont where I was doing 3-barrel batches. I was always hanging out in all these different breweries, Colorado Brewery back in the day in Danbury. Was good friends with Scott Ficarra from Captain Morgan. So I always kind of poked around and saw what was up. So when I went to scale up from, let's say, 10 gallons to 3 barrels, it generally was pretty easy. And I just really relied on what I'd done in the past. And just based on, the biggest focus always was water chemistry. Get that right, everything else will follow. If your gravity comes out a little light, or you're a little, and I always went in thinking, all right, let's go in a little lighter in the beginning, and we can always, if it's a little underbalanced, we'll get it to balance. If people want to overbalance, we can bring it there. So to really take from 3 barrels up, it wasn't hard. Like, to really go from 3 to 7, I own a 7-barrel brewery. That was easy. And then scale up to 15 that difficult as the head brewer. So I hope that's a good answer for you.
I think so. I have an interesting question I'm going to throw out to everybody, and I'd like to hear each of your responses. What's the best purchase, or maybe your favorite purchase, that you've made for your brewery?
I got an answer. Can I answer?
Okay, shoot.
Squeaky. Our floors are not pitched properly, and we suffered through the worst squeegee pandemic before the 2020 pandemic of terrible squeegees. And when we got the right ones, they made my life so much better.
Awesome.
You say that's
Chris and Kevin?
How about Chris? How about your place?
Yeah, so probably the best purchase we made out of necessity was a reverse osmosis water system for the brewery, for the brewing water. When I was, before we started the build out, before we moved into the space, I came in and grabbed a bunch of water straight from the tap here, and I brought it home and just homebrewed with it with my recipes, and the only variable change was the water. And I had it measured. I had all the data on it and all the mineral content, and the Bethel water is pretty disastrous for brewing. So I remember frantically sending messages to my partner saying, we got a problem.
Wow.
We're gonna need the RO system, and we got to get it on order right away. And that's probably one of the best purchases we made in the beginning. Then after that, I'd say squeegees as well, for sure.
Who would have thought? I never would have expected any of you guys to say squeegees.
Yeah. Well, I guess we got a comment. Frank, let's see that squeegee. He's out.
We have different size one. We have different sizes. We have this one here. This fits in between the tank legs nicely, and then the bigger one right next to me. It's a little bigger. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the RO system is huge. Nice bag.
I would say. Say that.
So now for us, we dial in, and the water. Every beer has a different water profile. We're able to dial those in nicely. So that actually goes back to what John was saying too about water chemistry being like just super important. So that was a big plus for us.
Who knew squeegee purchases being the best purchase at breweries?
I was not expecting to see squeegees in our video tonight.
Well, it is super cool. How about Chris? How about you from Great Falls? Like, please don't squeegees, or if it is, I mean, share your squeegee. Show your squeegee to the world.
We also have squeegees. I'm in the wrong place for squeegee showing. But the best purchase for us, flow meter actually.
Are we having a squeegee off?
Yeah, and a flow meter is sort of one of those fundamental things that differs from home brewing. When you can sort of just on the bucket, you just sort of put the line. You're like, all right, fill the bucket to that line. But in a brewery, you don't have. If you don't know what the flow of your water is, you run into some troubles. And our new brewer, when Jonas got here last year, when we just installed that flow meter, it was a selling point for a head brewer. It takes a lot of guesswork out of brewing a beer.
I'd love to purchase one of those.
How much did that flow meter cost, Chris?
$1,000.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Feels
know
like there's only one company that makes them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little simple things make the biggest difference, right? I mean,
Is that the Keans? The Keans flow meter? Is that the one you have?
No, like G Machineries or something. I can't remember the name. Yep.
we just got a cheer finally from Tom Giussani. Hello to you two guys. Hope you're enjoying the show. We're taking questions. We're drinking.
Well, that's a good one from Zach.
Hey, I had a question for Chris. I know a lot of the breweries down here are within a couple minutes of each other, and you're, a good hour north of most of us. I've been to your place twice. Love the beers every time I've gone. Do you want to talk a little bit about just like your tap list and what your tap room is amazing. It's at an old train station. What you guys have going on this year and how you're kind of managing through all this?
Yeah, it's a challenge. We're lucky that we have a town that's very supportive of us, and also the people who own the building have also been very supportive to make sure things go smoothly. So with this whole coronavirus, when we, like many other people in March, when things were bleak, we just sort of pivoted really quickly, and we were able to distribute. So we just got a new Yampa Twin Monkeys canning line, which we're very excited about, and that's helped a lot. And we'll be able to get our beer out to all the places here in Litchfield and Litchfield County. And the challenge is, we're fortunate to have a pretty big tap room to begin with, and we've met all the criteria in May, and people have actually been very supportive. That we're one of the few things that is open up here. People are holed up all in their houses, and it's just nice for people to get to a table. And right now it's like 40 degrees out, and all the tables outside are full, which is testament to like you got to go out and do something.
Buying fire pits is buying the summer market of trampolines and pools.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's been good up here. We like it up here. And the mountain biking's killer. If you guys mountain bike, it's a great place to come up and do that.
Very cool. Let me ask Ryan a question. I got a question here. I wanted to ask. What person over at Reverie in the tap room is the most fun to drink a beer with at your place?
Frank.
You can catch me in the tap room.
Yeah, Frank's never in the tap room because he's always tinkering in the back or brewing. So
I'm building 13-foot light poles.
Wait, who is the question from? This may be a trap.
Jen asked it, I think. Frank, we got to get you out in the front and drink with us, man. Come on, stop working
when I'm tinkering around.
Today he was almost late because he was trying to build lights for our patio because it's getting dark so early.
I got some bourbon barrels I gotta go situate there.
Look how clear that beer is. That's clear, Pilsner.
I've seen clearer.
Oh,
well, like when you went to the bathroom.
Oh, you scallywag!
Cheers. Cheers.
I'm clear. We had a hazy question. I don't know if you saw that.
You want to throw up the hazy question? All right. The first person to answer gets where is that question here? 1 second. Oh, Zach Ross asked again. First one who wants to answer this: how do you make your beers hazy? Is it
Zach? You don't want to know, bro.
He wants to know all your secrets, guys. Who wants to
your heroes?
We don't wash our glasses.
Oh, okay.
That's not true.
Yeah.
All right, who's going to take this? Come on, guys. Who's going to let this dog out the door?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
oats helps a lot.
Yeah.
Flaked oats help a lot.
Protein.
Yeah, we use a lot of lots of protein suspended in there, and we use a lot of flaked oats and flaked wheat, and yeast that doesn't flock very well. But yeah, definitely avoid the World Flock and Irish moss in the process. You don't need that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You want to keep all that stuff suspended in there that typically you would want to have drop out. But you know, that's kind of what we do. So
don't American ale yeast either.
Zach, that's all you're getting, man. You know, you're asking me a really personal question here. You know, these guys are going to spill the beans.
I would say
how big is your hazy beer?
Yeah, don't wears lead boots.
All right, you know, I have a question. I think maybe NewSylum could probably answer this. Does any of you guys, where is that? Do any of you guys have any like superstitions at your place? Like, like you don't stir clockwise when you mash in?
Oh my God, NewSylum, you got to have
every direction like that, or anybody really?
Well, I think the key.
First of all, can I just interrupt for a second?
All right,
can I interrupt for a second? Raise your hand if you have rakes in your mash tun. Go ahead, everyone, raise your hand if you have rakes in your mash tun.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Rakes in your mash. Oh, bunch of sissies. Good job, Chris.
This beer is made without rakes and mash tun, okay? I've done it.
I'll keep you in shape, man. You look like you're in good shape.
See, the question before was, what's the most difficult beer to make? It's the one that has the most malt in the mash tun, because I got to stir that thing.
No, I think NewSylum. I think you have to tell us some weird ghost stories or some superstitions that you guys have to keep the ghosts away. Maybe.
I think the key to it is to do a shot of tequila after every brew.
Yeah.
You just see everything normally.
So, I mean, there is rumors about that place, though, like your neighborhood. Like, there's ghost stories I've heard. I mean, is that true? Or is
they're not open at 2 a.m.
No.
Yeah, it's got a reputation, though. It sure does.
Yeah, sure.
We were very late at night, though, for a while. And since this was the doctor's dining hall, so no patients were ever in this building and no tunnels ever came to it either. I personally don't believe in ghosts, but I never heard anything or saw anything.
I have to say, we've actually been there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Actually, you've restored it. Amazing. It's definitely a place to visit for sure. It's very unique and it's very cool.
Yeah, 100%. Let me throw up this question here, guys. First person respond gets it. From Atari Bowling is asking, fruit in beer, travesty or novel concept?
Oh boy.
I'll take it.
He wants it.
Get it, girl.
Well, I mean, first of all, fruit in beer has been in beer for ages, eons. Now, the things that people are doing with fruit now probably is maybe more what Atari Bowling is asking about. But I know that for our part, when we add fruit in any of our beer, it gets fermented out. And we're not trying to put out anything that's like potentially dangerous or like that you have to store like cold no matter what or whatever. And other brewers are doing that, and that's something that appeals to a certain segment of people, and that's fine. But fruit has been in beer for ages and ages, and it just adds another dimension. It's like imagine being a chef and being like, well, I'm not going to use that ingredient because whatever. Like fruit just adds like a great dimension to certain styles of beer and whatnot that I think really makes beer one of the most interesting alcoholic beverages that is produced. Wine is made from grapes, distilled products and whatnot, just probably flavored with fruit, but like beer has like the whole palette of flavors and different types of ingredients. Anything's fair game in beer, and that's what I think really makes beer exciting and different.
I think that's a great point because I mean, we don't even realize that a lot of beers have fruit in them when we're drinking them, and we don't think about it.
Yeah. Point made. Let's stick with Atari because he did have another question for Chris at Broken Symmetry. He heard you guys brewed a quad. How hard was that one to brew?
Well, I took one of my homebrew recipes and scaled it up, and I made sure to use some of my favorite candy syrup that I like to use in that one. And I think for me, with the Belgians, it's very, very important, especially for high gravity, with a mash tun filled to the brim there as well. So that was that's a difficult one.
Yeah, you should turn your rakes off and paddle with that one.
But I think with that is you're dealing with something that you want to make sure that the pitch is right for the yeast to be able to handle that level, that gravity level, especially the simple sugars from the candy syrup, and then choosing the specialty grains as well to go with that. You really don't want something that you really want everything to play together and be balanced nicely. And I think with those beers, it's very yeast forward beers. The yeast really provides a lot of those fruit flavors, but there's no fruit in the quad, but you're getting a lot of those dark fruit, dried fruit notes, raisin, dried plum. We like to say dried plum instead of prune. So a lot of those really, really good flavors. And also fermentation temperature is really important for those styles. You go too warm right away, you could have some higher order alcohols, some fusel alcohols in there that you don't want. And then time with those beers. So really a nice gentle temperature control on that in the fermentation, and also letting it sit for a while. Those beers are best after being cellared for months and months. So unfortunately, we don't have sometimes that much time, especially in a small brewery where we don't have a lot of storage area to kind of place stuff. But we've ended up storing some kegs in the back of the cooler for a while and stuff like that to age it a little longer. But anyway, those are some of the challenges there, and that was it's one of my favorite styles to brew, but it is challenging to get right. And so far we've got some good feedback from that one, and I'm looking forward to brewing the next one. So,
hey Chris, we brewed a quad. Want to quad off?
Yeah, let's do it.
Quad off. Well, we drank all of it except for the stuff that we put in barrels. So we have barrel aged quad now.
That's not a competition, man. Ben?
We're just a quad.
I will say this is the GABF Pre-Party. We're going to do a bunch of barrel aged releases, and that's going to be one of them. So anyone who's a GABF passport holder or thinking about it, we're going to have a bunch of that stuff, and that's going to be one of them. So
wonderful.
But I would love to try your quad, Chris.
Oh, excellent! Yeah,
you could try it at my place.
Pilsner. It's a Pilsner. We just charge 4 times the amount.
Oh, God.
I don't know who invited this guy.
We got a spare barrel and some space. You want to toss some in a barrel, we'll give it to you.
Someone just said Quad Fest.
Quad off. We're quadding it.
No, we're done after this one.
No, we're just getting started. By the way, I noticed, and all joking aside, you guys must have been really good at chemistry and science, because I'm hearing a lot about like balancing things out and not having too much of this or that. Like, I hated science. I sucked at it.
I got an PhD on this call.
Seriously?
That was it. That's all I got.
That's why we heard it.
So we my background is physics, and Kevin and I were actually in college together. We're both physics majors, and then I went into aerospace and semiconductor engineering for over 20 years, and decided to leave that and go brew professionally.
Every day of brewing is engineering. You always have to engineer something.
Yep, every day. It's problem solving, it's efficiency boosting, it's just continuous improvement all the time. So it's continuous improvement.
Yeah, and also just to you guys, cheers. It is not easy, and it's not easy to be as successful as you guys all are. You know, I think maybe some homebrewers can attest to it, but seriously, kudos to you guys. I wouldn't even know where to begin, and as I said, I would probably quit after one day because science was not my thing.
I just want to know how you guys
know about the Great Falls quiz too, though. By the way,
you have haircuts.
What's that?
Nothing.
All you have extra time. You have short hair.
Hold on, you guys are stepping on each other. Woodbury, what did you say? Oh, we lost him. Okay, Ryan, go ahead.
Nothing. I said I was talking about the Great Falls Chris, by the way, but about the PhD.
Oh.
Yeah. I taught as a university professor for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I left. But talking about that engineering thing.
I went to make beer.
Well, speaking of Great Falls, by the way, we have a late entry to the game. The head brewer has
Jonas here?
Jonas? Yes. He's here. And there he is.
There he is.
Welcome to the party. It's getting a little silly.
We lost Woodbury though.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Woodbury's not worth it anyways.
Well, actually, we do have to go to Zoom. We'll stay here for a little bit while longer, but for the ticket buyers who are watching, we'll go over to Zoom for a more intimate, more private, ticket buyers only, and
we'll get even sillier.
We'll get a little bit more sillier, I guess. I'm afraid to see Ben in this environment, but
he'll be back.
Works at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any last minute questions before we head to our private chat for the ticket buyers?
Yeah, I was just going to finish up my point. Was like just spending the last couple of nights trying to fix a keg washer and being on the phone with the guys in Oregon trying to fix this keg washer. And we went through like the airlines and the water and see if there was a plug in the drain line and all that. And it turned out after all that, after like 6 hours spending on the phone, it was just we had switched on the coupler the hose lines.
Just be glad you didn't buy it from New Look Stainless, or else you'd be dealing with me, because that's who they send me to anytime a keg washer goes down.
Oh no!
I actually found a 3 washers, a lock washer, and a screw in my spear for my keg filler.
I don't think
on Tuesday, and it couldn't fit otherwise. Unless the manufacturer put it in there, and it doesn't belong in there. So it's been in our keg filler for the entire year we've been filling kegs. So you guys get a little extra stainless in all of our beers, just so you know.
With the very clean.
We almost didn't open because of that freaking keg washer.
Our first kegging session was Ryan and I until 4 a.m. in the morning, kegging sixtels at about 6 liters per minute. It was so slow. Ben's back.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Didn't pay your cable bill or something?
Battery died.
We didn't charge the battery.
Oh God.
So with Jonas on there, before we leave this, he should talk about the Pilsner real quick.
Oh, great! You're putting me on. What do you guys want to know about it?
Is it good?
Oh, we just had it. It was
Hey, wait,
good.
Jonas, let me hand you a beer.
It was delish.
It's a pretty simple recipe. I feel like with a lot of lagers, it's not so much focused on the grain bill itself, but on the actual process of making the lager. So, just conditioning it properly and simple ingredients, light dry hop, and that's it. Simplicity is the beauty of it.
I feel like Jonas is using his radio voice.
This is my only voice, then.
This recipe is super simple, and you'll love it.
Oh. We have our Zoom people.
Yeah, we got a reservoir of pills right here.
Yeah, let's get ready to head over to Zoom. I just want to say to ticket buyers, you should have read the link for Zoom. You guys are going to come on. It's going to be more intimate, more personal than this.
Wait. More intimate?
We're gonna have some fun.
I'm not taking my top off.
There's gonna be, something tells me Ben told me he's in a Zoom bomb us. I don't know. So
That's right.
it's gonna get a little silly. One thing I wanted to mention, guys, before you go, if you have FOMO because you did not get your beer today, these guys are gonna be back at it again next month. But you're gonna have to buy a GABF passport. These guys are all on it. You're gonna save beer on. There's beery deals at their place when you go. But here's where you buy it at bfestin/GABF. It's $20. You get a passport. You get deals at 30 Connecticut breweries, including all 5 of these guys. But you have to buy it to go there. You also get exclusive online access to GABF. If you like this format, it's the same thing. Probably way more professional and better. But you get a lot for $20, and it supports Connecticut breweries. All 5 of these guys. Guys, what are you guys offering up for this passport?
Chris, go. Chris,
Which one? Me?
passport.
All right. We're doing 15% off your whole bill.
Nice.
For passport.
50% off your whole bill.
Generous.
Okay, that's
We gotta change ours.
$20 right there.
Tonight.
We're doing you drink for free all week.
No, we're not. We're not.
Now we're doing 50% off 2 beers.
Great.
Nice.
Great deal.
So it's almost the passport's really paying for itself. That's awesome.
Well, let everybody else go, Jen. Okay,
Oh, sorry.
no, don't get all nervous. Man.
What about other Chris?
Yeah.
$5 pints for GABF passport.
What about
Nice.
NewSylum?
Free hugs. Free hugs.
Hugs.
Free 5-ounce sample.
And a free hug. Will you be wearing a hazmat suit when you redeem this offer?
And Woodbury is going to let you brew with them next time because that looks pretty fun. So.
We're gonna throw you in the fermenter and with the CO2 on.
Guys,
No, we're doing special barrel aged flights. It's a $20 flight. You get 8 5-ounce pours. So that's 4 of our barrel aged selections and 4 of our like regular selections, and then half off your first full pour. 10% off 4 packs to go. So we got you covered whether you're coming or going.
I'd say so.
And don't forget about learn how to rake. Free.
Yeah, and I'll let you start a mash.
Oh, hey, Alan.
And squeegee the floors.
Yeah, don't forget the squeegee.
Yes, but you have to be in it to squeegee it. So bfestin/GABF is where you get your GABF passport from these guys and 30 Connecticut breweries. Support these guys. Guys, that was so much fun. You made history. Get the glass.
Thank you, Kevin, and beerfest.com. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers. It's been
Cheers.
great drinking with you guys. Everybody.
Breweries.
Yeah.
Want to continue Zoom, guys? Get over to Zoom. Ticket
Western Connecticut unite.
We're zooming over to Zoom. See you in a little bit, guys. And we're going to take a little break, too. Nature's calling. I got to answer.
Hit the porta potty.
Yes.
There's no lines at the porta potties tonight.
No lines at the porta potties.
Do we have to wear masks in the Zoom session?
Yes.
Shit.
I will. I look better. That's what Jen
No,
said.
Stan, it's just, it hides so many flaws.
Exactly.
I know. Oh, look, we got maskers. All right, that's good. All right, guys, we'll see you over in Zoom. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Keep it Rasa.
Thank you, everyone.